Presbyterian Church of Ghana is a church that believes in prayer. One of our hymns emphasizes this point. Or say, "Amom paya yeyira." And therefore, it is very, very important for us to see where the church has come from. It is very important to analyze the role of prayer in our church. And for this matter, we want to look at the Bible study and prayer group, what they stand for, how far they have come, and then how they've been able to sustain this group. I have chanced upon a document that is a report which was presented to Synod in 1966. And this report is on prayer groups and sects. Prayer groups and sects. In fact, this report is from a book that was donated by the Reverend Albert L. Kwanzaa. Albert L. Kwanzaa, who used to be a clerk of the Synod. And he presented this book to the Zimmerman Library at Akotuah Opare Memorial Center. In this report, it is noted that the Synod of the Presbyterian Church that met at Ekropon from 30th August to 1st September in 1965. In that synod, Reverend S.R. Intiforo and some committee members, which comprise of lecturers or Presbyterian seminary members, to form a committee. And what was their mandate of that committee? They were to study sects, prayer groups, and Bible study groups. So it means that the church had grown, or the church got to a point where they developed interest in the prayer groups in the church, and therefore a committee was put up. This committee did a very awesome work. I read that they visited various groups, they visited various locations, they visited various churches to be sure that they are able to bring everybody on board to get their mind. So among some of the places they visited that is outlined in the book or in the report is Akimoda, Ewisa, Kumase, Asawase, Udumase Krobo, Manya Pauno, Accra, Nsawam, Utumi, Begro, Enyinem, Koforidua, and Nkoko. And they also interviewed leaders and members of 30 groups. Some information, they said, could be gathered by way of correspondence. So amongst the report or the information that was derived was a look beyond our walls as a church. So they considered the spiritual churches at the time, why there was rapid growth of those spiritual churches, and what was this growth about. They also looked at God's men of power and spirit, that is the concentration on prophets and healers. They also considered why people go to them, why people move to those places to, solicit for help. And they noted in that report that people don't just go to prayer centers or these places. They have issues, they have challenges that they think that going to such places will bring them healing and support. So that is why people went there. Those who need healing, those who needed spiritual protection, those who needed childbirth and what have you, they went to such places. Then I want to narrow the report down to where they actually discussed the prayer groups and their way of doing things in the church. They noted in that report that the prayer groups connected with our church got involved in fasting and prayers, and they noted that it is biblical teaching confirmed by the experience of the church throughout the ages that Christ's mission committed to us cannot be fulfilled without ardent prayer. And the report emphasized that. They also noted that a number of other Christians within our church felt that they could not get sufficient prayers in the regular services of the church, especially at the time when Friday evening prayers are declining in many districts. And so people were moving from one place to another just to quench or just to have this desire fulfilled. They claim that our pastors and sessions are too busy with administration or show no interest in spiritual matters. These are reports that was presented to the synod in 1966. So, another point that is raised in this report or minutes is that as requested by synod in 1965, that is minutes 43b, the committee added a special note on the prayer group that met in the Ramsia Center in Abetifi. This group was started by the Reverend T.A. Kumi. Then he was the warden of the center, and it is a member of the Bible study and prayer groups of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, and not a different group from other groups within that fellowship. After the transfer, according to the report of Reverend T.A. Kumi, ways to integrate the group into the congregation have been explored. No decision has been taken, and the group is now dormant. So the Reverend or the Ramsia Center also organized courses for leaders of prayer groups to give them some guidance. Some attendants interpreted the attendance of such course as an authorization of the church to continue with their practice or to form new groups. This led to disputes in some districts. Ebusiafo report no ewa. But all these things tells you where the Bible study and prayer group have come from. They have come very far. And some people stood on their grounds that they will ensure that the group will stand as a backing bone for the church.